Okay, there was a big jubilation in Sokoto. As we saw the Igbos there in Sokoto, the IPOP themselves, how to cook different type of variety of meals, giving it to the people in the correctional center there in Sokoto, and even giving it to people in community there in Sokoto. They were so happy. They said Nnamdi Kanu is the light.
Loved by the Igbos.
He has brought light to Sokoto. We've seen what is happening in Sokoto. Nnamdi Kanu has turned that place to a terrorist, state where people are coming. And we saw what they did, distributing food, purchasing clothing items to people, to the needy. And they said Nnamdi Kanu is the man that the people truly loves. What's your take as regards?
Man, once upon a time, an Igbo man by name Nnamdi Kanu, great honor was given to him by the Igbo communities. As an Igbo, Sokoto State, as an Igbo, the whole communities, the whole local government, the whole constituencies in Sokoto State unanimously cook food, which is Nigerian problem. Varieties of soup, varieties of swallows, varieties of beans, rice, up to 54 types of different types of Igbo soup, and loaded it with 10 trucks, feeding Sokoto communities, feeding the whole prisoners in Sokoto Correctional Center. The food was not served only to MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, but the entire prison warders, prison officials, Comptroller General of Prison. They cook foods in quantity because of only one man that was illegally brought into Sokoto Correctional Prison, MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. They supply all manners of meals to the prisoners, and it was obvious introduced to Sadano Sokoto, the Cheiks, the Malams, everybody.
So they benefited.
I'm telling you, not only Christians.
I say they agree with Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, they actually marveled that the Igbos love MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. The Hausas were jubilating that this man was supported by the Igbos. MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is supported by his Igbo people. MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is loved by the entire Igbos in the whole world. The variety of food cooked was not only prepared in Sokoto State. They actually gathered from other communities bordering Sokoto. Igbos everywhere in the northwest contributed money, cheap food item, cooked food items, raw catch to prisoners, to prison officials, because of only one man, MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. They were fed by the Igbo brothers, Igbo sisters, Igbo mothers, fathers, and the uncles, because of the kind of love they have for MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. Who tells you that the Igbos don't support what MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is doing? The entire Igbo communities in the northwest supported MAZI Nnamdi Kanu by preparing food, wonderful, sumptuous, delicious food, and distributed it among the prison warders, every prisoners under the Sokoto Correctional Centers were fed, remained. The next day it continued. For 1 good week, Nigerian news could not carry it. Do you know that Nigerian newspaper could not carry it? Because it is what Nigeria hates. Nigeria hates freedom of Biafra. That's why they could not carry that in the news. No national dailies, none of the national dailies, none of the social media were writing about what happened to MAZI Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto prison. They are all anti-Igbo, anti-Biafra. That's why they could not even throw it on social media platform that MAZI Nnamdi Kanu tribes, people, uncles, mothers prepared that super meal, great meals, delicious meals among all the Sokoto, prisoners, with MAZI Nnamdi Kanu together, supervising the sharing, distribution of these food items, raw one, cooked one, among the entire prisoners. The whole inmates were clothed, were fed, were supplied with all manners of, good materials, only because of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. And it's an indication of love, an indication of general acceptance by his Igbo people, his Igbo uncles. They love him. If anybody is telling you that Igbo man doesn't love MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, such a person is a hater. They really supplied whatever they want to the Sokoto prison because of one man, Oga millions was spent to cook this food. And I'm telling you, if you ask me, when majority of the Igbos love MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, it means everybody loves him. Majority of the Igbos, good numbers of Igbos, in their millions, have that kind of emotion. For MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, it means the entire Igbo. If Igbos are 100 million in population, and the 95 million Igbos love MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, it means the entire Igbos love MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. It is no longer knows because AIT could not carry it, TVC could not carry it, Punch newspaper, anti-Igbo media could not show it on their newspaper. But social media has done lots and lots.
They may not be informed as regards.
Nobody should inform them. It is thrown on the media. They should have accepted.
So you might not blame them.
No, they should have accepted from media, from breaking news, from Facebook. Except then you throw it on your captions.
Were they informed?
Indigenous people of Biafra are Igbo men. Let us forget about this IPOP and other things. We shouldn't. But we should be, at least, believe that paper, media houses should have at least carry it. Put it on writing. Put it on writing. Shall you understand? Put it on writing. Yes, but they are not. They are not doing that. They are not doing that. Why? Because they want MAZI Nnamdi Kanu to perish there. I don't know what to understand. Because that's it. They should have at least throw it on media, put it on media houses, and write it on newspaper. But they could not. Oga, the entire Igbo community fed the whole prison officials, prisoners at Sokoto Correctional, Center. And that was a great marvel. The greatest thing recently that happened in Sokoto prison, as testified by the prisoners themselves, the prison authority themselves, the Sokoto community people, villagers, everybody in that state rejoiced. And that was a good, let me say, narrative about Kanu's ordeal. And do you know what it showcased? It showcased true love by the Igbos. It showcased true, let me say, affection by his Igbo uncles, brothers, fathers, and mothers. Let me tell you, MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, federal government of Nigeria has not known what they have done to themselves. All the components of this current administration, they have destroyed themselves. The Igbos came out en mass in Northwest, prepared that great meal that lasted for 1 week. Sokoto Correctional Prison, we are feeding themselves, prison warders, prison officials, controllers, for good 1 week, 7 days. It is courtesy MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. That's great. This is a man that was illegally renditioned from Nairobi, Kenya in 2021. And they brought him into Nigerian contraption, and he was subjected to this kind of, let me say, cruel situation. Dumped at the DSS facilities, bribed many times to accept billions and oil well, and abandon Biafra. But MAZI Nnamdi Kanu said, no, it's either Biafra or he dies. And you can see, Kanu is not going to die. If the chemical they imported into this country is to poison prisoners, they are going to poison themselves. I can't see Gabahanon. Poison, chemical that they imported into this country from Poland, if it is to kill MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, I can't see Gabahanon. The people that imported this chemical will at least kill themselves. It will never be for the Igbos. It can never be for this anointed son of Igbo from whom I axis. Kanu, if anybody tries to poison Kanu,
we don't know whether it's true. Are you scared that
after the importation of that chemical, something is happening? You can't import poison. Okay, listen, Erufai is correct. They hold him now. Listen, you are importing poison for what? Can you feed rat with poison, or can you feed crops with poison? They import it to use it for bad work. Erufai must actually show the evidence. When it was a social media rumor that Ribadu actually gave bandits AK-47, AK-59, was it a rumor again? Investigation was carried out. The bandits themselves actually made confession that the guns were supplied by Ribadu. Now Ribadu again, NSA, National Security Advisor to Tinubu administration, agreed, he must agree that chemicals, poisonous one, was imported from Poland into Nigeria. Importation of chemical poison is he going to help us to use poison and chemical feed the Nigerians? Is that rice or beans or wheat? Very wicked government. Instead of delivering good governances, democratic dividends to the entire citizens of this country, they are busy importing dangerous chemical. Let me tell you, they should go and investigate too well. RFI must be saying the truth. RFI cannot just
because today during the protest for for the transition of election,
yeah.
yes, result to IRF said because the protesters, they were tear gas today, but somebody was saying that that was not a tear gas, that was what
chemical
RFI was talking about.
Not chemical.
Yes, that this is a chemical that can slowly buy so many people.
Yes.
With that being said, now, do you think that RFI was right?
Yes, RFI is right. They imported chemical from Poland to actually annihilate the entire protesters because they know that it's going to happen 2027. So when they actually rig it 2027 and everybody will be and the like comes out en masse to protest that kind of irregularity, electoral irregularity, they are going to use the poisonous chemical to make sure that they buy many Nigerians. And let me tell you, United States of America is going to dig deep into that to investigate actually if it was a chemical. And you know that chemical like that is tagged anti, let me say, biological weapon. Biological weapon, chemical weapon is banned by United Nations. United States actually took it against Iraqi Prime Minister Saddam Hussein in 2023, in 2003, sorry, 1990, 91, 92, and so on and so forth till 2000 during September 9/11. They actually tried Saddam Hussein in 2003 and they by him. He was beheaded. Why? He unleashed chemical attack on the Kurds. The Kurdish are Christian part of Iran. They actually wanted to annihilate, to exterminate thoroughly, extinct the Christian community tribes in Iraq. The names of such Christian tribe or race is Kurd, the Kurdish, the Kurds. Because they used chemical weapon on them, and that was where America hold as an evidence that Saddam Hussein should be sent to Gallo. And they actually sent Saddam Hussein to Gallo, and he was spied. He was killed by American military forces who took him to Iran, and they are what? Judiciary, the court in Iraq condemned Saddam Hussein. He was sentenced to death, and actually they hanged him. He died 2003. Saddam was the man whose administration invaded Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and other oil-rich in the Persian Gulf in 1990. To be precise, August 22, invasion of Kuwait led by Saddam Hussein. And during the war of Iran and Iraq that lasted from 1980 to 1988, Iraq used chemical weapon and make sure that they exterminate, send into extinction Kurds, the Kurdish. The Kurdish died in their large number of chemical weapon. And that was where America charged Saddam Hussein of committing a great, genocide against the Kurds. And it is a crime against humanity, the largest ever committed on the planet Earth. That's why he was apprehended. Saddam Hussein was apprehended and sentenced to death. And actually he was spied by hanging. So, if such is actually apparent, happen in this country, it means Rufai is right. Something is going on. The National Security Advisor is a dangerous man. He doesn't want the Christians, he doesn't want the Nigerian citizens to protest for their right. That's why, as the Tiaga Chowore is now voicing out that it was a chemical indeed. And the United States of America, they are going to dig deep into investigation of this chemical imported from Poland. I'm telling you, it's a dangerous thing to hear.
Okay, today we saw, as lawmakers fight dirty over a lawmaker proposing 16 years for presidency in Nigeria. A lot of people say this is absurd. And we know that APC have the majority of this lawmaker. Do you not think this is feasible, or this is a plan by the Tinubu government to finally see that Tinubu will be there for another 12 years?
Yes, that is another ploy. It's another ploy for third term agenda, or what is even, I tag, let me say, more than third term agenda. Because you see, Tinubu is a very greedy man that could stop at nothing to get what he wants. look at the money, the kind of money this man has amassed since 1999 to date. He was Lagos State governor for 8 years, and after 8 years in Lagos State, he actually pocketed Lagos. He's in control of Lagos, and now he has become a president of Nigeria. Barely 2 years he is actually campaigning now, campaigning for 6 years tenure, which will make it more than three good term. While our democracy and the presidential system of government is exactly what United States of America is practicing, that is presidential system of government, by which Mr. President stay for 8 years, he will just get out of that place, another person will come in. But you see the kind of greedy lawmakers we have in the house there. They want to make it 6 years so that Tinubu will be, let me say, a life president, and they can never work for him. If it could not work, yes, for Obasanjo, who actually campaigned for 3 tenure agenda, it was squashed. I don't think they are going to allow it. If they try it, that is when the whole Nigerians will revolt. Nobody is an island. Akpabio is not an island. Tinubu is too old to become an island. The entire Nigeria will come out en masse and make sure that we chase these people into Atlantic Ocean. I mean, the lawmakers, the people at the, executive, the lawmakers, the judiciary, Nigerians will chase all of them into the Atlantic Ocean. It cannot work.
But Tinubu were to be or doing well, if Tinubu was doing well, do you think a lot of people might not, do you think that people would have complained as regards?
Thank you so much. Now you are talking. I've been that Tinubu has given us very, very healthy and reasonable democratic dispensation. I think we have no reason other than to agree that he should stay there. Tinubu is a failure. He failed more than even Buhari, the most uneducated Nigerian president ever. If anybody could fall below Buhari's expectation, it means that person is a stupor. Tinubu is a stupor. He has failed Nigerians. I don't see him succeeding on his tenure agenda because he's a failure. Economically, Nigeria is down. We are owing China billions of dollars. Economically, Nigeria is down. We borrowed lots and lots of money in billions of dollars from World Bank. What is anybody telling me about this administration? I will never ever agree that they will be campaigning or scrambling for 6 tenure agenda. It can work. Listen and listen good. He has failed woefully. Economically, we are nowhere to be found. And when you talk about hungry, Nigerians are famished. We are not hungry, but we are famished. There are people that don't see ordinary one meal early in the morning. They don't feed before they go to work. They come back, nothing to eat but garri and sugar. You see that kind of atmosphere, and this group of idiotic, wicked lawmakers are campaigning for 6-year tenure. It can never work. It is not possible, and it can't be possible in our society.